Lake James is the first lake in a long chain of lakes along the Catawba River in western North Carolina. Lake James encompasses over 6,500 acres and 150 miles of shoreline. There are 3 tributaries that flow into Lake James. The largest is the Catawba River, the next down in size is the Linville River, and the smallest is right behind us here, Patty's Creek, the creek that the state park was named after. I love working here at Lake James State Park. We get to interact with all types of people. We get to spend days out here on the water. We're doing something different each and every day to serve the people of North Carolina. Lake James had its beginnings back in 1916 when James B. Duke and Duke Power Company, they call themselves Duke Energy today, he got together with a few friends of his, one of them who had some money, one of them who had some ideas, another one who knew how to put money and ideas together, and they started building lakes across western North Carolina, along with hydroelectric power plants to power the textile industries back then, homes and communities. Behind me you can see the near 35-mile shoreline of Lake James State Park, which was established back in the late 1980s. You can also see Grandfather Mountain State Park, Mount Mitchell State Park, and South Mountain State Park from here. 3 massive dams were constructed to create Lake James. Behind me is the Linville River Dam, which also includes a hydroelectric power plant down below. These dams were built over 100 years ago using only steam-powered equipment. To construct the dam, the builders built a train trestle across the river valley. They would drive a train onto it loaded with dirt and continue to dump this dirt onto the ground until they covered up the bridge. At that point, they would build a second and third trestle on top of it or beside it to make the dam higher or wider until it was complete. Several years ago, Duke Energy installed 3 osprey platforms on Lake James. Osprey is an old Indian word for fish hawk. These birds primarily eat fish from Lake James, but they will not turn down the meal of a snake or a frog if it passes by. Lake James State Park offers several different types of camping. We've got drive-in camping, hike-in camping, and behind me you can see one of our boat-in camping areas. You must have a boat to access this area, but they're easily accessible with a motorboat, canoe, or kayak after a short 30 to 45-minute paddle. Several mammals can also be seen on your trip to Lake James. We have otter that swim in the lake. We've got bobcat, fox, coyote, raccoon, skunks. You may even get lucky and see a white-tailed deer or a wild turkey near your campsite. One of our more notorious critters on Lake James is becoming more and more abundant is the beaver. You can see signs of beaver all along the shoreline from the lodges that they build and the trees that they cut down to eat and to make their homes. If you're traveling on Lake James by boat, conditions can worsen quickly to near zero visibility. Make sure and prepare yourself with a map or GPS so that you can travel safely to and from your campsite. If you become disoriented, try and find the nearest shoreline and stay close to it as you travel. If you're interested in fishing on Lake James, we have nearly every freshwater fish species an angler could hope for. Thank you for joining us on Lake James today. We hope you enjoyed this tour.